Most of academia and the media would tell you that Christianity and science are opposed to one another. But this isn't true. In fact, the majority of the Nobel Prize winners over the last 100 years were Christian, and nearly 90% of them believed in God. Most of the Nobel Prize awards are science-related, so there must be some level of scientific evidence to support the Christian worldview, or at least the theistic worldview. Otherwise, all of these award-winning physicists and chemists and pharmaceutical scientists would be atheists, right? In today's video, we're going to show two primary ways in which science points to God. Since 1915, when Albert Einstein published his general theory of relativity and catapulted our understanding of how the universe works, we have witnessed remarkable scientific discoveries over the last century, which have confirmed not only that the universe is expanding at an accelerating rate, but that it sprang into being from a single point in the finite past. Not all scientists are fond of a finite universe, and many alternative models have been presented over the years, none of which have stood the test of time. This is significant because in 2003, Irvin Board, Alan Guth, and Alexander Vilenkin proved that any universe that has been expanding throughout its history cannot be eternal in the past, but must have an absolute beginning. This brings us to what is known as the cosmological argument, which simply states, whatever begins to exist has a cause. This is true without exception in the physical world. The universe began to exist. This has been proven by teams of scientists over the past century. Therefore, the universe has a cause. And since the universe has a cause, its cause must be beyond the space-time universe because the universe can't cause itself. Therefore, its cause must be spaceless, timeless, and unimaginably powerful. Sounds a lot like God, doesn't it? In 2014, the Wall Street Journal published an article titled "Science Increasingly Makes the Case for God." The article addresses what is known as the fine-tuning argument, the idea that the universe is fine-tuned for the existence of life on planet Earth. The article references the discovery of over 200 essential parameters for a planet to support life, requirements that must be perfectly met, or life as we know it cannot exist. One of the requirements is that a planet must have a specific temperature range to support life in the presence of liquid water. Within our own solar system, Earth is the only planet in this ideal range. So if we extrapolate this one condition to all the planets in the universe, we would find that only a fraction of them have the right proximity to a star to be in this ideal temperature range. Another requirement is that a planet needs to have an abundance of liquid water, which is essential for life. At the time of this video, Earth is the only discovered planet in the universe with bodies of liquid water on its surface. We only covered 2 out of 200 parameters and already determined that Earth is uniquely suited above any other planet in the universe to support life. If we were to continue and account for the atmosphere requirements, energy sources, nutrients, and all of the other factors, we would find that it is practically statistically impossible and really an absolute miracle that Earth contains all of these conditions perfectly. And this analysis doesn't even consider the probability of the universe forming in the first place or sustaining throughout its expansion.
It is difficult to discuss the beginning of the universe without mentioning the concept of God.
Astronomy leads us to a unique event, a universe which was created out of nothing, one with a very delicate balance needed to provide exactly the conditions required to permit life, and one which has an underlying, well, one might say, supernatural plan.
Wherever physicists look, they see examples of fine-tuning.
It seems to me that when confronted with the marvels of life in the universe, one must ask why and not just how. The only possible answers are religious. I find a need for God in the universe and in my own life.
Today we focused only on the origin and fine-tuning of the universe. However, there is evidence to support intelligent design in every field of science. evidence which was sufficient to convince some of the brightest scientific minds that have ever lived, and which can substantiate your faith in God. Thanks for watching. If you believe in God, I hope this video was an encouragement and a blessing to you. If you don't believe in God, I don't expect this video by itself to convince you otherwise. I do, however, hope that you might be inspired to investigate the credibility of some of these scientists and perhaps the conclusions that they've reached. And I pray that one day you'll discover there is an abundance of evidence to support God's existence, not only in science, but in every aspect of life, as well as in His revealed truth throughout Scripture, and finally in and through the person of Jesus Christ. God bless you all.